Family invests in family celebrations. Now take a $65,000 loan for your brother's wedding. Original post. I'm sitting in my truck at the wind farm, hands still shaking from what just happened. I need to get this out before I head back up that turbine for my afternoon inspection. I'm Jake, 30M, and I've been a wind turbine technician for 8 years. It's dangerous work, climbing 300-foot towers daily, maintaining massive mechanical systems while suspended hundreds of feet in the air. The pay is good though, around $75,000 a year, and I've been careful with money. Built up an emergency fund, started investing, even bought a small house last year. I thought I was doing everything right. My younger brother Matt, 26M, is a line cook at a respected restaurant downtown. He's passionate about food, genuinely talented, and just got engaged to his girlfriend of 3 years, Sophie. I was thrilled for them. Then last weekend, our parents called a family meeting. They'd been planning with Matt and Sophie, apparently for months, about the wedding. Not just any wedding, but what they called an investment in our family's social standing. They'd already made provisional bookings. A celebrity chef from New York would cater, $35,000. Imported wines from Sophie's grandmother's region in Italy, $8,000. A venue that's booked 2 years out, $15,000. Plus photography, flowers, and everything else, bringing the total to $85,000. Here's where it gets insane. Mom looked me straight in the eye and said, "Family invests in family celebrations. You'll take out a $65,000 personal loan. Matt will contribute what he can from his savings, about $10,000, and we'll cover the final $10,000. I actually laughed at first, thinking it was a joke. It wasn't. Dad pulled out printed loan applications he'd already filled out with my information. With your credit score and stable income, you'll get approved immediately. The interest rate is only 18%, very reasonable for an unsecured loan. 18%. On $65,000. I did the math quickly. That's over $1,500 a month for 5 years, more than my mortgage. It would completely drain my emergency fund just to make payments, destroy my ability to save, and put me one injury away from bankruptcy. I can't afford this, I said. Mom's face went cold. Can't? Or won't? We sacrificed everything for you boys. We deserve to see at least one proper celebration in this family. Matt's the first to get married. This sets the tone for our family's future. Matt sat there, silent. Sophie kept glancing between her phone and the catering menus. Neither of them said a word. I work 300 feet in the air, I tried to explain. If something happens to me. Nothing will happen, Dad interrupted. You're being dramatic. This is about being there for family. Matt would do it for you. Would he? Matt's never had more than $2,000 in savings. He lives paycheck to paycheck, spending most of his income on culinary equipment and dining at high-end restaurants for research. Not judging his choices, but he's never been in a position to help anyone financially. The meeting ended with them giving me a week to come to my senses. They've been texting daily since then. Mom sends photos of other families' pathetic weddings. Dad sends articles about how real men provide for their families. Matt texted once, "It would mean everything to Sophie." This morning, I nearly fell. I was checking bolt tension on a turbine nacelle when my safety harness caught on something. For a second, I thought the carabiner had failed. It hadn't, just user error from being distracted, but that split second of terror reminded me why we have emergency funds. Why we plan for the worst. I can't take out that loan. But I also can't shake the feeling that I'm destroying my family. Mom hasn't answered my calls since I said I needed more time to think. Dad sent a message saying he's disappointed in the man I've become. Am I wrong here? Should family really come before financial security? I genuinely don't know anymore. Update 1, 3 days later. Thank you all for the responses. I've read every single one, and it's helped more than you know. I wanted to update because something significant happened yesterday. My climbing partner, Marcus, noticed I've been off my game. We've worked together for 5 years, trust each other with our lives daily, and he called me out during our lunch break yesterday. "Jake, what's going on? You've been distracted all week. That's how accidents happen up here." I told him everything. The whole story just poured out while we sat in the brake trailer, wind howling outside. Marcus listened without interrupting, then was quiet for a long moment. "You know what we say about safety, right?" he finally asked. "It extends beyond work. Financial safety, emotional safety, mental safety, it's all connected. If you're stressed about money, you're more likely to make mistakes up there. If you're dealing with emotional manipulation, you can't focus on the job." Emotional manipulation. I hadn't used those words, But Marcus did. He continued, "My sister went through something similar. Her in-laws demanded she refinance her house to pay for her brother-in-law's business venture. Family invests in family, they said. She did it. The business failed in 6 months, she lost her house, and guess what? The family blamed her for not investing enough." Marcus then asked me something that hit hard. If Matt really needs an $85,000 wedding, why isn't he taking out the loan? He's working, has credit. Why specifically you? I didn't have an answer. When I got home, I called Matt directly. No parents, just us. "Matt, can we talk? Really talk?" He was at work, but took a break. I could hear the kitchen noise in the background. "Is this about the wedding?" he asked, sounding tired. "Yeah." "I need to know, is this really what you want? $85,000? Celebrity chefs? Or is this Mom and Dad and Sophie pushing for it?" Long silence. Then, "I don't know anymore, Jake. It started simple. Sophie and I wanted a nice dinner, maybe 50 people. Then Mom got involved, said we needed to do it right. Sophie's parents started competing, suggesting upgrades. Suddenly we're looking at venues I'd never even eat at, let alone afford. Do you understand what they're asking me to do? The loan would cost me over $90,000 with interest. That's more than you make in 3 years. I didn't realize the interest would be that much. Mom said it was just like spreading out the cost, making it manageable. Matt, I could lose everything. If I get injured, if work slows down, if anything happens, I'd be bankrupt. And for what? So strangers can eat caviar at your wedding." He was quiet again. Then, "Sophie's been showing everyone the plans. Her whole family's excited. I don't know how to back out now. That's not my problem to solve, Matt. I love you, but I can't destroy my future for one party." "I get it," he said quietly. "I need to go, dinner rush is starting." After we hung up, I texted our parents, "I've made my decision. I will not be taking out a loan for Matt's wedding. I'll contribute $2,000 as a wedding gift, which is what I can afford without compromising my financial security. This is not negotiable." Mom called immediately. I didn't answer. Dad texted, "You're going to regret this selfishness for the rest of your life." Maybe. But I'd regret bankruptcy more. Marcus was right about safety extending beyond work. I've been so focused on physical safety, harnesses, helmets, protocols, that I ignored the emotional hazards in my own family. The manipulation, the guilt, the assumption that my financial stability was less important than a party. I'm back at work today, and for the first time this week, my head is clear. 300 feet up, wind battering the tower, and I feel safer here than I did at that family meeting. Update 2 weeks later. The situation has evolved in ways I didn't expect. I need to share what's happened. After my last update, my parents went full silent treatment. Matt, however, started texting me. Not about the wedding, just normal stuff. Recipes he was trying, a funny customer story, a picture of a knife he was thinking about buying. It felt like we were finding our way back to being brothers. Then, last Sunday, Matt showed up at my house. Alone. He looked exhausted. "Can I come in? I brought dinner." He held up a cooler. While he cooked, "My kitchen has never smelled that good." We talked. Really talked, maybe for the first time as adults. "I've been working doubles all week," he said, plating what looked like restaurant-quality beef short ribs. "Thinking about money. About what things actually cost. I make $18 an hour, Jake. After taxes, that's maybe $28,000 a year." The math wasn't adding up. He'd started breaking down the wedding costs, really looking at them. The celebrity chef they wanted charged more for one dinner than Matt makes in a month. The wine selection cost more than his car. "I realized something," he continued. "I've been letting everyone else plan my life while expecting you to pay for it. That's messed up." He told me about a conversation with his head chef, an older guy who'd worked in Michelin-starred restaurants. The chef had laughed when Matt mentioned the celebrity caterer. "That guy. He's a brand, not a chef anymore. Hasn't touched actual food in years. His team reheats pre-made portions. You could cook circles around what he'd serve." Matt had started thinking, if he was really as passionate about food as he claimed, why was he outsourcing the most important meal of his life? "I called Sophie that night," he said. "Told her I wanted to cook our own wedding dinner. She thought I was joking. When she realized I was serious, she said her parents would be humiliated. They'd fought. Sophie accused him of not caring about her happiness. Matt asked if her happiness really depended on imported wine and strangers' opinions. It got ugly. We didn't break up, he clarified. But we're postponing the wedding. Going to figure out what we actually want versus what everyone else wants for us. The family explosion was immediate. Mom called Matt selfish, immature, not man enough to provide for his bride. Dad said he was embarrassing the family. Sophie's parents were apparently even worse. But here's the thing, Matt said, serving me seconds. I've been killing myself with overtime. 16-hour days, 6 days a week. And you know what? I've saved $8,000 in just 3 weeks. Money I never thought I could save. Because I never tried. He'd moved back in with a roommate to cut expenses, started meal prepping instead of eating out, stopped buying expensive equipment he didn't really need. I realized I was living like I was rich while expecting you to actually be rich. That's on me. The next part surprised me most. Matt had talked to his head chef about doing private catering on weekends. The chef was interested. He had connections but no time. Matt had skills and time but no connections. They were working out a partnership. I want to earn my wedding, Matt said. Actually earn it. Not have it handed to me, not guilt someone else into paying for it. If it takes a year, 2 years, whatever. Sophie and I need to figure out if we want the same things anyway. Before he left, Matt handed me an envelope. Inside was a check for $500. What's this? Remember when you lent me money for culinary school? I never paid it all back. This isn't everything, but it's a start. I'd forgotten about that loan. It was years ago, maybe $3,000 total. I'd written it off mentally, never expected to see it again. Matt, you don't have to. Yes, I do. That's the point. I do have to. I want to. There's a difference between family helping family and family exploiting family. I'm just sorry it took me this long to see it. Our parents still aren't speaking to either of us. They've told the extended family we're turning our backs on family values. But Matt and I are talking more than we have in years. He sends me pictures of dishes he's testing for his catering menu. I'm helping him set up basic business accounting. Maybe we're not the family our parents wanted. But we're becoming the brothers we should have been all along. Update 3, 6 weeks later. This might be my final update, and it's a good one. Matt's been working his catering side business for a month now. Last weekend, he called with a problem. They'd booked 3 events for the same day and needed help. I know you don't know anything about food, he said, but I need someone I trust for setup and service. It's $25 an hour cash, if you're interested. I was interested. Not for the money, but to see my brother in his element. Watching Matt work was revelatory. He wasn't just cooking, he was conducting an orchestra. Every movement precise, every decision calculated. He reminded me of myself checking turbine controls, methodical, focused, professional. You know, I said during a brief break, the precision you use for plating is similar to what I do with bolt torque specifications. It's all about consistency and attention to detail. Matt laughed. Never thought about it that way. Maybe we're not so different. The event was a 40th birthday party, nothing fancy, but Matt's food was incredible. Guests kept asking for business cards. One woman said she'd been planning to use a big catering company for her daughter's graduation but wanted Matt instead after tasting his food. That night, counting cash and breaking down equipment, Matt made a suggestion that surprised me. What if we did this together? Not the cooking, that's my thing. But the business side. You're good with numbers, planning, systems. I'm good with food. We could build something real. I thought about it. My job is stable but physically demanding. I can't climb turbines forever. Having a side business, something to build toward, made sense. Equal partners? I asked. Equal partners. We shook on it. Then Matt said something that stopped me cold. Sophie and I are getting married next month. What? I thought you postponed. We did. Then we decided we were done waiting for the perfect wedding. We're doing dinner for 20 people at the restaurant where I work. My boss is letting us use the private dining room. I'm cooking everything myself, well, with help from the team. Sophie's making her grandmother's tiramisu. No imported wine, no celebrity chef, no debt. He handed me an invitation. Simple, elegant, handwritten. Total cost, about $2,000. What we can actually afford. Mom and Dad. They're invited. Whether they come is up to them. The wedding was last night. Our parents didn't come. They sent a card saying they were disappointed but wished them well. Their loss. Matt's food was extraordinary. Every dish had a story, where he learned it, why he chose it, how it connected to him and Sophie. His fellow cooks helped with service, turning it into a celebration of their community rather than a performance for strangers. During his toast, Matt said something I'll never forget. 6 weeks ago, I thought I needed an $85,000 wedding to prove I'd made it. I thought success meant other people serving my guests, other people's wine on the table. But cooking this meal myself, for the people I love, with the skills I've earned, this is success. This is pride. My brother Jake taught me that. He taught me that real support isn't about writing checks. It's about honest conversations, tough love when needed, and building something sustainable together. Sophie's toast was equally moving. She thanked Matt for having the courage to stand up to both families, to choose their truth over others' expectations. She looked radiant, not because of an expensive dress or professional makeup, but because she was marrying someone who'd found his backbone. After dinner, while everyone was dancing, Matt pulled me aside. "That $2,000 you offered? I don't need it for the wedding anymore. But if you're serious about the catering business, we could use it for equipment. Chafing dishes, a proper transport system, maybe a commercial mixer. Consider it invested. We've already booked 4 events for next month. Matt handles the food, I handle the logistics, scheduling, and books. We're calling it Brothers Table Catering. Our tagline, precision in every detail, from 300 feet to your plate. It's a reference most people won't get, but we know. Final update, 3 months later. I wasn't going to update again, but something beautiful happened that needs to be shared. Brothers Table Catering has exploded. We're booked every weekend through next spring. Matt's still working his restaurant job, I'm still climbing turbines, but our side business is generating serious income. We've each made an additional $15,000 in 3 months. Last week, we catered a corporate event for an energy company. They loved the precision of our service, the military-like efficiency of our setup. The CEO approached me afterward. "This is exactly what we look for in vendors. Attention to detail, safety consciousness, perfect execution. You guys understand systems." He handed me his card. They want us to cater their quarterly meetings, consistent, reliable income. But here's the beautiful part. Mom called yesterday. "I heard about your business," she said stiffly. "The Johnsons from church used you for their anniversary. They couldn't stop talking about it." "Okay. I was wrong. About the wedding. About the loan. About all of it." I nearly dropped my phone. Mom never admits she's wrong. Your father and I, we grew up differently. We thought big displays meant success. But watching you boys build something real, something yours, that's actual success. She paused. "Would you cater your cousin's engagement party? I'd like to tell everyone my sons own a business together." The party was last night. Matt and I worked in perfect synchronization, him creating, me organizing. Parents attended, proud but quiet. During service, I overheard Mom talking to her sister. Jake could have taken that loan. Would have destroyed him, but he could have done it. He chose wisdom over appearance. And Matt could have accepted that money, but he chose to earn his own way. They're both stronger than we raised them to be. They became that despite us, not because of us. After the party, Dad helped us load equipment. He's not one for speeches, but he said quietly, "You boys did good. Real good." Matt and I were cleaning up when Sophie arrived to help. She'd been at her own work event but came straight over. As she packed leftover desserts, she said something that summed it all up. "You know what I love most about our small wedding? Every time someone asks about it, Matt lights up talking about cooking each dish. He can't do that with someone else's food. That pride, you can't buy that." She's right. You can't buy pride. You can't loan someone self-respect. You can't guilt someone into genuine success. Matt and I talk every day now. Not about the business, though that's going well, but about life, plans, dreams. He's saving for advanced culinary training. I'm getting certified for offshore wind farms, better pay, less wear on my body. We're both building futures on our own terms. The business isn't just about money. It's about proving that family support doesn't mean enabling bad decisions or sacrificing yourself for others' dreams. It means honest partnership, shared work, mutual respect. Our parents wanted an $85,000 party to impress strangers. Instead, they got 2 sons running a successful business together. Matt didn't get his celebrity chef wedding, but he got something better. The knowledge that he can create food that moves people, build his own success, pay his own way. And me. I kept my financial security, my self-respect, and gained a true partner in my brother. That's worth more than any loan could buy. Sometimes the best investment in family isn't writing a check. It's having the courage to say no when necessary, and the wisdom to build something together when the time is right. We're catering another wedding next month, a young couple who heard about us through word of mouth. They're paying for it themselves, keeping it simple but meaningful. Matt's already planning the menu, excited to cook for people who understand that the best celebrations aren't about impressing others, they're about honoring what you've built together. The turbines are calling, and I need to get ready for my shift. But I wanted to share this conclusion. Family isn't about obligation or guilt or sacrifice. It's about growing together, supporting real dreams, and building something sustainable. Matt texts me every morning now. Usually recipes or business ideas, but yesterday was different. Thanks for not giving me what I wanted. Thanks for helping me earn what I needed. That's what family really invests in, not parties, but potential. Not appearances, but authenticity. Not one-sided sacrifice, but genuine partnership. We're thinking about going full-time with the business in a year. Matt's developing a signature menu. I'm getting my business license and taking accounting courses. Our parents are still adjusting to who we've become versus who they wanted us to be, but they're trying. The other day, a coworker asked if I regretted not helping with the big wedding. I told him the truth. The only thing I regret is that it took us this long to figure out what really matters. Brothers Table isn't just our business name. It's what we've built, a place where both of us can contribute equally, where precision meets passion, where family means partnership, not parasitism. 300 feet up on a turbine yesterday, I realized something. I'm not afraid of falling anymore. Not because I trust my equipment less, but because I trust my decisions more. I chose financial stability over family pressure. I chose honesty over enabling. I chose to build something with my brother rather than buy something for him. Those choices led us here, to a thriving business, a stronger relationship, and a future we're building together. No celebrity chefs, no imported wine, no crushing debt. Just two brothers who learned that the best investments aren't always financial, and the best support isn't always saying yes. The wind was particularly strong yesterday, the turbine swaying slightly in the gusts. But I felt steady, grounded, secure. That's what good choices give you. Stability that no amount of money can buy and no amount of guilt can shake. Matt's wedding gift to me? A handwritten recipe book with all the dishes from his wedding. Inside the cover, he wrote, "For my brother, who taught me the recipe for self-respect. Equal parts courage, wisdom, and knowing when to say no. Serves a lifetime." I keep it in my work truck, a reminder that sometimes the best thing you can do for family is refuse to enable their worst impulses and instead help them find their best selves. That's our story. Two brothers, one climbing toward the sky, one creating from the earth, both building something worth more than any party could ever be.